Hello everyone, this is May from Lost in Translationmon, and this is our first, hopefully of many, Appmon related episodes. So I'm here alone today because Jay didn't want to watch the Raw because he doesn't understand much Japanese, or any, and wouldn't get anything from it, and he said that he would have to watch it again anyway when we watch the subbed version. So this is just sort of like just a quick episode, because I understood some of the episode. I understood enough to know what was going on, which isn't hard. I don't think there was much going on to really understand. Maybe that changes in later episodes when there's in-depth character moments, which we hopefully will get. And I'm not sure how quickly we'll be able to get subtitles. Maybe this weekend, maybe a week away, I don't know. And I just wanted to do this as soon as possible because the episode 1 that came up isn't region locked at the moment, but there's always the worry that it becomes region locked for whatever reason. So I thought that I'd try to cover this as quickly as possible and watch it as quickly as possible. So I just uploaded episode 70 to iTunes, and episode 2 is hopefully coming up, or our episode 2 of the podcast, is hopefully coming up on YouTube soon. So this is like a quick in between things that I'm doing. Anyway, so this episode starts off with Haru, and he's looking at his phone, and there's something that's popping up, and behind it we see that there's a little guy fighting, who we find out is called Gatchmon, and I love him. Anyway, so he pushes the button down, it keeps on coming up, and then he gets this little chip that comes out, and he's wondering what that is. And then he goes to the library, and I think he's borrowing Harry Potter. I don't know, I think it says Harry Potter on it, but I might be wrong, because I only saw the Harry part. And so I think that's kind of cute. And first of all, I really like how he's a book nerd, and he reminds me a bit of Takato, because a lot of the Goggle Boys that we ever have are very headstrong and they're sporty, and they're a lot like Haru's friend Yujin, actually. But this time he's a bit nerdy, he's a bit like Takato, and I really like that. And from memory, this is the first one since Takato who hasn't been a headstrong, sporty, fiery young man. He's just a normal, kid, and I like Haru. And then he sees his friend playing soccer, I believe, and there's something that he's thinking to himself about how Yujin's character is so different from his own. And then we see that Haru blushes and sees a girl that he likes called Ai. So during this time, there's a scanner watching him of some description, and the kanji for protagonist shows up, and then there's a cross through it saying, no, he can't be a protagonist, or something along those lines. Then he's walking around with Yujin. A vending machine calls his name, it writes his name out on the vending machine, so he walks over, and he just leaves Yujin, I guess. All right. And then the vending machine asks him if he's a protagonist, and he's not quite sure. He's about to click yes, and then his finger kind of hovers over no, but then nothing happens. He doesn't actually press it, and then an Appli drive comes out of the vending machine, as you do. And then a counter counts down, and a monster pops out. And Gatchmon also asks if he's a protagonist, and that's a running theme in this episode so far. And Gatchmon then scans him and is able to say all his information, what school he goes to, what year he's in, how old he is, what's his name, and even who his crush is. And that he says that he likes Ai, and then that he used to wet the bed. Then Gatchmon loses all his power and becomes small. So this is obviously Gatchmon's special move, is he's a finder app. So he can find things about someone, I guess. And I like that feature. And he's clearly used up so much power to search for him that he's now tired and he becomes small. Then another Appmon comes out of Haru's phone and jumps around the house. Then he gets an SMS from Yujin and says, oh, look what's happening. And there's a big photo of how Haru used to wet the bed, and everyone's laughing at it. And then there's a picture of Ai that comes out, because Ai is now looking at the screen. And now my Japanese wasn't good enough to understand what was being said on the screen, what the SMS was, but it had something to do with her bangs that she got cut, and maybe I sent an SMS that he didn't like them, or he had an opinion about them, and this hurts Ai's feelings. And then it's looking through everyone's phones and their text messages, and it's looking at their photos, shashin, and it's, publishing them where it shouldn't, sending them to people, and everyone's privacy is being breached. Then Haru uses his Appli drive to go into a place which was very, reminiscent of the Digicourts, or the whatever that weird sort of area was called in Young Hunters. And I really like Messamon because Messamon is attacking with speech bubbles because he's a messaging app. And I really like how each of them is themed after an app. I know I thought that might be a bit lame, but I really kind of like it actually. Then Haru realizes that he's a protagonist and remembers that Yujin said something about being a protagonist. And now then he realizes he has to help everyone. The message app is firing all these chat bubbles at Gatchamon, and Haru isn't really doing anything. Then Messamon fires a finishing shot and Haru falls over, and the Appledrive asks again, "Are you a protagonist?" And then this time he says yes. And now he knows what to do, and he, as in all Digimon shows, all of a sudden he knows how to, get his Digivice working. So he slots in Gatchamon, and then he starts typing with a keyboard, and Gatchamon uses a magnifying glass, and I really like this. It's so cute. It was so fun, and it was generally, enjoyable. I liked it. And now Haru has the Messamon, and he has the chip for him, and then he puts it in his Apple Watch, which he apparently now has. And at the end, he's walking around, back home, I guess, being happy, and Yujin's staring at him from a corner. And I'm like, oh gosh, I really like Yujin. Please, can he not be evil? So those that's basically a very short synopsis. This is quite a short episode because it's just me, and I'm not sure how long just me can talk about something without being boring, and I don't want to be boring. And yeah, JJ will probably watch this with me. I'll try to get him to watch it with me when we cover the subs. And yeah, I'm not sure when that'll come out, and I definitely want to watch it again just because I might have missed something. And there were a few things that I weren't able to understand fully, but I believe that there wasn't enough chatter in this episode that I missed out on anything too significant because of my limited Japanese. So as for the direction that this is going in, I'm really impressed by it. I wasn't expecting much because it looks very different from Digimon. They're not called Digimon. It's potentially using different mechanics than Digimon. And I don't know, I really like the character designs. I really like the new Goggle Boy. I want to dye my hair green, but I can't because I have a job. And I just really like the characters and the potential enjoyment I can just have just from looking at each app and saying, this is what this Appmon's used for, and these are his attacks, and this is his special ability because he's this app. And I just look forward to seeing different apps and what they're going to do special with them. What other apps are you going to walk into? I know we've seen a few previews, there's the roleplay one, and that looks like a little RPG character. And there's the podcast app, and there's the calendar app, and there's the maps app, and I really like that. I want to know what Yujin's deal is, because I really like Yujin. He seems like such a sweetie. And maybe there's going to be that. Maybe there's a love triangle between Ai and Haru and Yujin because she was watching him playing football and she seemed quite interested. And I don't know, just the way he calmed Ai down when she was worried about something that Haru maybe said. I may be missing the context to that because, again, limited Japanese, but the text that came up had something that was wrong with her. Maybe it was too short, or I think it had the first kanji was for bangs, and then the katakana was another word for bangs, and then the second lot of the kanji, I think there's two on the end, and they said something along the lines of too much. So maybe it said she had too much of her bangs cut off, and that hurt Ai's feelings, or it's too short or something. I don't know. So I'm not sure how much I missed because of my limited Japanese, but I would definitely recommend to try to watch this, even if you don't know Japanese, because it was cute. And I'm looking forward to see where it goes. It definitely felt a bit like Yokai Watch and Digimon to me, a combination between the two. Maybe it's because they get the little chips, which they get in Yokai Watch. I haven't actually watched the anime for it, but I have played the games. And now after watching this, it makes me very excited for stuff that I have on pre-order. It makes me want to buy a Japanese 3DS, but they're far too expensive, and I don't have that much money at the moment. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to what they do with this show, and I know that it's aimed at a younger audience than Try, and I feel like I'm still going to enjoy it anyway, because it seems just really enjoyable and cute and fluffy and fun. And that's what I want. That's what I want out of my anime. And it's something that just put a smile on my face, and isn't that what it's meant to do? So those are my very brief opinions there's not much more to say. I know this is only quite a short episode, and I'm sorry if you were expecting more. I just wanted to put out my thoughts, and that I recommend watching it if you are interested. And I just, like, even if you're not, like, give it a shot. It's not terrible. And I just, I wish I could talk more about it. And this is obviously going to be our shortest episode we've ever put out. And I really hope that you enjoyed listening to me speak alone about this silly thing that came out, 2 hours ago. Anyway, so I'll see you guys on the next episode, which is probably the Rio episode. So I wonder what Jay's going to think about Rio now. And there won't be a link dump in the description, but I will link where I watched the episode in the description, just in case they don't put any region locking on it. I'll put it there. Anyway, you can email us at lostintranslation@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter and on Vine, and you can find us at Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit, and we'd really appreciate if you were to review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thanks to our Patreon supporter, Stevie, who hosts a podcast with another Patreon supporter called Sam Krieger, and the podcast is called The Moncast, and they talk about Pokemon and Digimon. There's also Wu Qinglong, who has a Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/WQINGLONG, Metal Marmimon Joe, Anime Guy, who is Anime Guy Kurosaki, then the number 1 on YouTube, Chuckmon, Ishpul Bamba, Hiro Olato, who is Hiro Olato on Twitter, Jason Morosky, Frost Moragic, who is at Frost Moragic on Twitter, Stephen Reeds, who is at WildWing64 on Twitter, Kaido Washi, Mak, Nom, Riku, and Red and Garen from Breakfast with Digimon, which is another Digimon podcast. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airdramon, and it'll also be linked in the description. And make sure to let us know it's for the podcast. Anyway, so let us know what you thought about Applimon. Do you think we should continue talking about it? I hope so. This will be obviously separated from our usual episodes and our special episodes. They'll be our own Applimon episodes, and I really hope that future episodes will be accessible, even in raw format, because at least we get to access them, and maybe if they look at the stats of who visits the pages and they see that there's all these people from around the world who are trying to watch this, even though it's in Japanese, maybe, just maybe, they'll be motivated to make it more accessible to us. Because obviously they'll have some sort of stats on the website, and they can see where in the world their viewers are coming from, and they'll say, wow, there's someone in Australia, someone in England, someone in America, and they're all watching this. And I don't know, so wherever you are from, try and watch it. I don't know, I feel like if they know we want it, then maybe they'll make it more accessible for us. Anyway, so see you guys next time, and definitely let me know what you think, because I really like this, and I think it has potential, but that's just me, and I love anything Digimon. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye! Actually, not quite done yet. I just looked at my phone just after saving this episode, and it turns out it's already been removed from the website. So, yeah. So if you're able to watch it somehow, try to. I guess if you'd already watched it, I guess you're lucky too. But yeah, I'm sorry. So it won't be... I mean, I will still link where I watched it in the description, just in case it's been temporarily removed or temporarily region blocked. And it'll probably be put up somewhere. Not sure how legally, but... So it was definitely up there for 2 hours. So if you watched it during that time, well done. I'm very happy that I watched it while I did and didn't wait for, subtitles and didn't lose my chance. But yeah, so hopefully my synopsis was clear enough if you didn't get to watch it. But I hope that everyone can watch it because, as I said, it's really, really enjoyable. And yeah, so just a little bit of update. I didn't want to say, oh yes, it's available, and then, publish this episode, getting people saying it's not available. So hopefully it's available again. If I'll try to keep my eye out, and if it becomes available again, I will tweet about it or Facebook about it or Tumblr about it or what have you. And yeah, so yeah, just a little bit of an addition there that I wanted to add on. And yeah, so coolios. All right, now I'm done. Bye bye.